Hey, good morning. I am Andy, and this is Andy Taught Me How. Let me share my screen. I got a few things to say, and then we're going to get started on the About page for andytaughtmehow.com. Hold on, let me share my screen. Share. Desktop 2. Now, once again, remember, I'm on Linux, which is an operating system like Windows or Mac OS, and you may see things on my screen that you're not used to seeing. For example, right now, my mouse is just a pointer. I need to jump into my command line and make my mouse have a glow on it. So give me a sec. CD bin. All right. So I wrote a little script that's called mouse.y and .shell is, or the extension is .sh. So all it's going to do is give me a yellow glow. The Y is for yellow around my mouse as soon as I hit enter. See, got a yellow glow. All right, let's get out of that. So I am going to give you some commercials, a slideshow real quick, and then we're going to do a review of what we did last week and the final tweaks I made to the training page. And then we'll get started real fast on the About page. It's kind of hairy. It's kind of big, and I didn't know why I needed it that big, but ChatGPT gave me some good mock-ups, and I'm going to go with it. So there we go. All right. On YouTube, if I'm going too fast for you, which I may be, depends on the day, I may have had too much coffee and I'm super hyper fueled. On YouTube, if you're watching a video and you come to a point that you didn't catch, hit pause, rewind, replay it as many times as you need to make sure you grasp the concept. And here's why. If you just do something just to do it, you're not really learning about it, right? You want to know the reasoning behind it. And that's part of the reason why we're building this 5-page website from scratch without using AI to do the building for us. I'm using AI to help me create the content, maybe the copy, things like that. And you'll see me change some wording that I didn't really want I didn't like the AI's choice of words. That's okay. It didn't hurt anything. But I'm teaching you how to do it in case you ever have to do it on your own. Maybe the AI is down that day and you've got to get a site edited for your client or for yourself, for your brand, whatever it may be. So you can pause, rewind, and replay as you need to. Also, if I'm going too slow for you, down at the bottom right, let me show you. See this little gear right here? If this were on YouTube and you click that gear, you can speed me up or slow me down. So if you're tired of hearing me talking, you can just speed me up. All right, let's go to the next session here. You can follow this build that we're doing right now by going to andytaughtmehow.com. You can go to /home or not. It doesn't matter now that home is the main page. And in that, you'll see a pop-up that pops up real quick and says, this site is it's a work in progress, and some things may not work, and it may not be perfectly formatted for mobile. All that's going to come, it's just not here yet. And then I'll tell you what is the last page that I worked on the previous Tuesday. Okay. So what I'm telling you now is if you went there and looked right now, you would see at andytaughtmehow.com a pop-up that comes up and gives you all that stuff and said, we just worked on the training page. So you can go to the training page and look at what we've done. All right, let's go next. In most cases, we don't need custom CSS. But when you want something to just stand out and look amazingly pretty or have a great function, then you're going to want to add some custom CSS. And here's what I'm doing for you. All of the custom CSS that I'm using on the page, on the site, everywhere, will be available for you to look at and to see that I've got a table that describes what each function does, actually each class does, and then it will tell you how to use it. And then I'm showing you all of this custom CSS that you normally wouldn't see unless you went digging crazy. I'm showing it all on this page. So go to andytaughtmehow.com/custom-css. All right. So don't miss a thing. If you will subscribe to this channel, you're going to see all of the stuff that we've got. Now, right now, you're seeing the 5-page website builder. I've already released what I call some builder notes that are short, 15 to 30-minute lessons that are just about a specific topic. For example, I've got one that teaches you how to use UTM tracking so that you could track everything in your website when somebody clicks on a link. So you can subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up to like this video, please. And finally, click the notification bell and choose all, because you won't see everything every time, because a lot of times Google kind of represses stuff. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're depressed, I guess. Anyway, click the all. That way you get notified every time something happens. And we're building in BizStackPro. BizStackPro is a super turbocharged version of Go High Level. It's built on the Go High Level framework, but we've added so much stuff. Our leaders in BizStackPro have added, for example, my favorite thing probably is the 24/7 chat help, right? So anytime that you need help and you're building, and sometimes you're a night owl and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you can't find anybody online that can help you, you can click on that chat help first, and it's going to ask you some questions. What do you need? What do you want to do? That kind of thing. And if you don't see the topics, you just start chatting. And then you chat and you say, I need help with this, or I don't know how to format this, right? And the AI will answer you and help you try to do it. If you're not satisfied with the AI answer, or you just can't talk to an AI for whatever reason, you can type the word human, and sooner or later, a human being is going to come online and ask you what's going on. And they can help you through all of your technical troubles. And if that still doesn't work, then here's the second best thing about BizStackPro. Probably not the second best. It's probably the first. We have meetings 8 times a week, live meetings where you can ask questions, get answers. You can see examples of how to do things from people who have knowledge and people who don't have knowledge that are asking the questions to learn about it. So all that happens 8 times a week. And then on top of that, I'm teaching something every Tuesday morning, whether it's this 5-page site. The next one will probably be lead systems, lead generation systems. After that, we'll talk about how to build a bridge page. After that, we'll go into some of these micro questions and things like that. We've got to learn how to do a blog. We've got to learn how to do automations for email. All the things, we're going to teach it on Tuesdays. All right. And then we started this website with what I call your website mission statement. Now, this can be for your client. If you're an agency and you want to build a website for your client, you need to get your client to answer this. I help blank so they can blank without blank. And it's not hard. For example, for this, I help people on web entrepreneurs, brand people, whatever you want to call it. I help people so they can have an online presence without being overwhelmed. And that's what I'm teaching this 5-page series about, so that you can learn the bare basics to a web page and website design and go all the way through the process. It's going to make you almost an expert when it's all said and done. That's enough of this. Give me a second. Let's get out of here. And I want to review with you. Well, somewhere. Hold on. Here we go. I want to review with you what we did last week, just a little bit. So here we are in my BizStackPro account. We're going to go, we start at the dashboard when you sign in. We're going to go down to sites, and then we're going to go to websites, and then we're going to go to Andy Taught Me How. And then last week we worked on the training page. And when I left you, just a sec. Oh my goodness. When I left you, we had set all of this up. I made a couple of changes on this image. We'll talk about that later, maybe. But I did not have these graphics in. And the only reason I'm drawing your attention to these graphics, we just had image placeholders, is if you look in this top right corner when I move my mouse away, you'll see that we've got rounding, but specifically the image is rounded. I just wanted to make you aware of that. So if we look at this, I wanted you to see that you can, here we go, that you can change the margin and padding. I had to set it all to 0 so that it would fill this column. All right. And then I added a border, a 1-pixel border around the top and the bottom. All right. And both sides. And then I unclicked this link so that I would have I'm sorry, I turned it gray, so that you could set just the radius on the corners up the top. Otherwise it would look funky. I'd have a corner bottom radius and a bottom radius here. That wouldn't look good. Anyway, so I wanted you to see that. That's one thing that I didn't show when we talked about it last week. Everything else is done. Another thing that I did that I mentioned to you last week is that we actually just did a 4-column row and did not have these arrows in it. So what I did is I inserted 3 more columns and then put the arrows in them. No big thing. All right. I think that's everything that we finished there. Let's get started on a new page, and we're going to go back. The easiest way to do, remember I taught this already, is when you've got a page going the way you like it, use that as your template to build the next page. So we're going to go with the training page. We're going to go to clone page in this website. Just takes a minute or so, some days faster than others. All right, so here it is. It always places the clone page at the bottom right, wherever that may be. We're going to go to settings, and we're going to change this. It's going to be about. By the way, it's important to have a good title. So we might say about Andy taught me how. Now, what is the purpose of an about page? There are several thoughts about that. So let me tell you my thought. An about page should tell your audience about you, why they should listen to you or learn from you, and maybe have a little bit of your credentials in there, and maybe not. You don't want to brag about yourself or anything like that, but you definitely want them to know why they should know, like, and trust you. Remember those words. We're going to come back to those. All right, about Andy taught me how. Let's go get started. Now, switch back to my slideshow real quick, and let me show you what we're working with. This is the mock-up that Chat GPT helped me create. And this is exactly what I'm saying. You're going to learn a little bit about how I teach or why I teach here, more about me, and then let's go through. Right now, we're ready to work on these two sections, but we got to start at the very top first. And once again, if you want to see how I created all these icons, I've got a short or a builder note that teaches you how to create those icons, how to save them in Canva, how to save them with a transparent background, and then how to change them to a WebP format because they are so much more smaller images, smaller size-wise, so that they are more efficient when you load the image. So every icon on here has been through that process, and you can check it out probably just above me right about now. You're going to see a card come up that says build icons in Canva or something like that. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to fix the existing hero section to make it look like this. Let's go. I'm going to drag this across the way. And this is going to say, first things first, it's going to say about. And this is going to say, Andy taught me how. Isn't this a lot easier than trying to recreate all the info in this section, all the elements? I'm able to just reuse and recoup and redo, and let's go. All right, so give me a sec. I need to read this. The easiest way is to do that and slideshow it. There we go. Oh my goodness. I am missing the stuff. There we go. All right, so I'm looking at my image and it looks like they've got a line break right here. So I'm going to do a shift enter right there. All right, and then there is a paragraph under this. So we're going to add a paragraph element. This paragraph is going to be left aligned. There we go. And I'm thinking let's see what font size this is. Go to general. And this is 24. I'm betting that this could be 18. There we go. And then, by the way, if you haven't noticed, there's a little padding right here between the end of the element and the first words. So we're going to match that so it doesn't look funky. So let's look at that and go to styles and we look at it. There's a 20 pixel padding and we've got 10 at the top. So let's go look at what we have here. 10, let's make this 20. And then we want to make this one 20. So everything's all matching up. That's better. Let's type this in real quick. Got to tell y'all, I don't know why, but I got a hang up when I have to type a hyphenated word. So I was panicking there that I would do it right. Not really, just letting you know. Step-by-step training. So line break. All right. Get the builder toolkit. This actually now says, let's go back to general. This is start learning. There we go. All right. And then under this, we now have under these two buttons, we now have let me show you. All right. Under our two buttons that we now have a 3-column row. So we're going to insert that real quick. And then we've got each one has an icon, a title, and some text underneath. So let's go fix that real quick. All right. So in this first column, what I want to do is add another, I want to add a 3-column row. Now that's kind of difficult to do under, well, we can do it right there. Look at there. Let's do it. Boom. All right. 3 columns. And then if you'll remember, I talked about anytime that you've got something like this 3-column row here. All right. So we've got 3 columns, but each of the columns has 2 columns in it. I know it gets kind of crazy, but we want to keep that the same theme that we've got, same process that we've got going out everywhere else. For example, when you get to some of these others, back up here, right here, this is the same thing. This is a big column, right? And so there's actually 4 columns, but each one has a 2-column row in it. So let's get back to where we were and move this. All right, so we're going to insert a 2-column row. In the left column, we have an image. That image is already uploaded. We're going to go get it. And he taught me how. About page icons. And this is a yellow smiley. Perfect. That is way too big for what we need. So we're going to set the height. Either you can do either one, the height or the width. I wouldn't do both because then it has a tendency to skew your image. So I'm going to set the width to, let's see what 50 does. That's probably pretty good. All right, so let's go over here and we're going to add a paragraph. The first paragraph is going to be our title. It's going to be left aligned. Now, you've probably seen me do this 100 times by now, but that's okay. Now we're going to drag this left, maybe. Oh, come on. There we go. Now, what I'm watching for is I don't want that icon to go any smaller. So I'm just making it left. There, it went small. So let's come back to it. All right, we're going to call that good. All right, so we're going to clone this, and then we're going to turn this into our title. The title says beginner. Oh, my goodness. And then I select all and bold. Now you can use keyboard shortcuts. So I did a Control A to select all. And I could have just done a Control B, but I did it just so you could see what was going on. All right. And then I need to see, oh my goodness, it's barely microscopic there. No tech skills needed. I'll guide you step by step. So this, by the way, this font is definitely smaller. Let me show you. So this title, I'm going to guess that's about 14, and this is at least 12. So we'll make that match. So this is going to be size general 12. All right, let's go see. Here we go, hyphenated words again. All right, so we have this just about ready to go, except there's a lot of spacing between the title and the paragraph, right? So let's fix that. I'm going to say that we can kill the padding beneath it. There we go. We're getting better. And then let's kill the padding above it, and then we can adjust it if we need to. All right, let's look at it. Click somewhere else so we can see it. I probably took off too much padding above. We can fix that. Let's add 5 back to it. Did I do it in the right spot? There we go. All right, that looks pretty good to me. Now, the way that we did this in the past is we need to take some padding off the right side of that first. Give me a sec. Now, why am I saying that? If I'm looking at the original document, and it's going to be kind of small, but if I'm looking at the original document, you see this is only 2 lines, and it's formatted because it's only 2 lines. It looks good that way. So we're going to do the same thing here. Let's go see what else we can do. Oh, one thing we can do, there's some padding around the picture. We don't need all that padding around the picture either. So let's take that away and allow the margin of the in between the, there we go. I'll move this over. See what happened? Perfect. And we don't have a big gap between the picture and our stuff, between the icon and our stuff. I like that better. Okay, let's go next. I think this beginner friendly, I think we're going to take that size down 1 step or 2. Let's go back and look at that. Now, all this stuff is kind of in the eye of the beholder, right? You can look and see and play with it as much as you want. to make it as nice as you want it to be, or you can just slow it, go as fast as you can through it, and then come back and touch it up later. I kind of be a blend. I'm usually a blend of both. I like to make it look as good as I can before I do any more work. Now, like we've done in the past, once you have one done in a series of like 3 different columns, we did a three column row here, right? Once you have one done, clone it and then modify it. Oh, wrong place. Let's undo that. So we got an undo button up here at the top right. Let's undo that. All right, I wanted to clone that whole. There we go. See the light purple here? Too much. I want to clone that. There we go. And then we're going to get rid of one so that we're staying about the same width. Perfection. Let's go change this. We're looking for a play arrow and it's orange. Andy taught me how. About page icons, play arrow. There it is. And this says practical training. There we go. Lessons you can use right away. And not lesions. All right. So we did that. By the way, we need to go ahead and change the some alt text on these icons. I'm going to just say orange smiley face. And this is an orange play button. And we can do a lot more with this alt text as we go. Now, remember, alt text is typically for people who have low vision and they use a screen reader to tell you what the image is. And if it's for example, if these were buttons that you could click, then I would also say orange play button, click to watch video, that kind of thing. All right, we're going to clone this one. All right, this is our last one, so we can get rid of this and let's go fix it. This is a bar chart going up right here. Did I say that right? Yeah. All right. Real results. What did I do? I want to bold that. There we go. Y'all. Oh, almost done. I was going to brag about how quick we were done, but we're not there yet. I want to. So let me show you something that we had to do to make this picture adjust to the far right and leave all the space everywhere else we wanted to go. And also, I may not need this behind this. We'll see. Let's go look. So here's what our page is going to look like so far. I've got to change this, and it's going to be a picture of me and a coffee cup and a laptop. But in the training page, I had to make this image a part of the CSS because I needed to be right justified and not to take up as much space as the one was doing in the element. So let's go look. I'll show you. Normally, you would have an image right here in the element. By the way, this is this section I'm talking about. And we can overlay. Let's go see what the one looks like that we've got. What it does. We're going to go to section backgrounds. And this is our section background as a WebP, so it's very efficient. Now see, we can also change this so that it's just 100% width. All right. See what happens when this image is like that? It's way too much to the left and it's cutting off my neck, and we don't want all that. I want everybody to see all that they can see of me. And I'm joking. But we're going to fix it so that's not the case. We're going to get rid of this image here. All right, it's empty. And then we're going to go edit our CSS to grab that image. First, I need to go get the URL to our image that we're going to use, section backgrounds. We're going to get the link. So we go down here and we say get link. Close this up. Go away. Stop. There we go. And then we go up here to our CSS. And then way at the bottom, I had one called training page hero background image. Now we're going to change this. This is actually going to be the about page. So I'm just going to change the word training to about in both places. Oh, that's the only place. Let's see. Yeah, right here. And then we're going to change this so that it's the about page. All right. And finally, see what we've did. We have no repeat. We're going right center and the contain the image. And then we're going to change our link to the one I just copied. And let's save it and look. Okay. Let's wait and see. We're going to publish for now and then go look at it and see if it got in there. I may have done something wrong. Oh, I know what it is. No. Let me show you what I did wrong. So remember, I just changed it from training to about. If we go to styles in the hero section, scroll down, see this is a class, right? I didn't change the class name here. So ATMH dash about dash hero. All right, so we hit that. Watch, we're going to have our image show up, and then I'm going to delete this old one. Now, if we take this away and we look at the image, how it should be, we've got a problem right here in the shading on the backside, on the background of this. We're going to turn that off. And that was the background. Oh, that's under general. All right, go down. You see it right here. This is our background. We're going to turn that off. So make it clear. Now it's not cutting my neck off. Now we may do some other stuff with this, and you can ask why. Well, I'll tell you why. Thank you for asking. We're really busy on this side. I could, and also look at the difference. This picture has a solid background, and I'm running into black over here or dark navy. I'll probably take this image, this same color of this image, and just make that the image, the background of the whole. What did I do? Make that the background of the whole section. Let's see what's going on. Oh, that's what happened. I clicked. Yeah, so let's go see if we can figure that out. Let's go see what we can do here. If we click here and we want to go to color, and we're going to click on this guy. Do we have an eyedropper? We do not have an eyedropper. Does this match it? Yuck, that doesn't match it.
If you click custom color in that little rainbow colored box.
There's an eyedropper. Thank you, Miss Shelley.
You're
All
welcome.
right, y'all. So we're going to click on the back on our image background, and you can see it divides right here. So I want to make sure I get this side. There we go. All right. So what did we do, Miss Shelley? We clicked it, and then what?
It should add the color. You can click, I think add will let you. Yeah, there's a eyedropper there as well.
Let's do
Yeah.
it here. There we go. It's already there. 1163C, 01163C. Where'd it put it?
I don't think you confirmed. I think there's a confirm at the bottom of it.
All right, let's do it again. We're going to click
Save.
here. Oh, let's give it a name. All right, let's go get it. This is us. It says choose a different shade or use existing. I don't know what we're going to give this.
Try going up to the top corner of that one. Looks like there's some shade difference.
Up here?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. That's all right. What I'm going to do is make it 99%. Where there's a will, there's a way, maybe?
Yep.
That did it.
Oh, that's really close. Yeah.
All right. So now our hero is about the same background color. Yeah, you can't tell a difference. Perfect. So we are done. And look, I've got some merch right here, some coffee mug. So what I could do is I could take this. I don't have much room. What I was considering is moving our column width over, but it doesn't look like I have much room because of, yeah, I'm gonna leave those alone. All right. So I'm going to declare that our hero section is complete. All right, let's go see what we have here. Now we want to build the why I teach section. That's one of the smoke gray backgrounds and then everything else. I may have something similar to that right here, right now. Let's go see. Start your learning path. We could clone that. I don't think I am. Let's just make a new section. All right, so we're going to create a new one. This is I'm going to say it's a 2-column section. I can make it a 3. Let's try a 3. The background color of the section is going to be smoky. Maybe this smoke, we'll see. And then this is going to be an image. $285. These are identical. So let's just use this one. There we go. All right. And then over on this section, we've got, let me show you. We've got a small title. Then we've got probably, we'll call this an H2, an underline, and then some paragraphs, and then a signature. So let's come back to this. We're going to add. We've got a paragraph. All right. And this is going to be left aligned. Now, the only reason I'm showing you what I'm doing here is I'm going to set all of these up that I can clone. So I'm going to go ahead and make this left aligned first so that we can clone it. Left align. All right. The text on this is going to be our gold color. There we go. And it looks like that's going to be smaller. We're going to drop it down to 14. All right. And then underneath, we've got an H2, which is a sub headline. And the color of that is going to be our dark. And it's going to say YIH. Ooh, what'd you do? And it's going to be left aligned. And then the font weight of this, I want this to be a pretty good size. So we're going to change it up here to bold. And then the size is going to be way up there, probably about 24 again. Maybe even bigger. We'll see. All right, let's go add our divider. This divider is going to be our gold color. And we're going to say that it's going to be aligned left, and it's only going to be 25%. Okay, it's a little bit smaller. Let's make it 10. And that's close, but we'll see. All right, so let me show you what we have so far. We've got these three elements. I can see now that we're going to have to adjust the spacing between the two. So that would either be margin or padding, and we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to clone this element into the paragraphs down here because I already left a line, a little bit less work to do, no big thing. Let's jump on that. All right, clone. So I'm using the clone button. And then rather than dragging, I can just as easy click this arrow a few times, and we're there. Now let's change this to our dark color. And we're not going to be bold anymore. All right, and we're going to say, all right, so I'm going to talk, Shelley Turner, in case you guys don't know, Shelley Turner is the CEO of BizStackPro. She's been doing this for a long time. I don't know if she's been building as long as I have, but I've got some questions and answers that we're about to talk about. So this is going to be a good Q&A time between Shelley and I while I'm typing and building. So let's see if I can do that without losing too much time. Miss Turner, do you remember the first bit of website stuff that you did? About what year do you think that was?
Oh, my heavens, Sir Murgatroyd. Oh my. Back when my children were little, I would say they were probably 10-ish. So that's going to be about 20 some years ago, 24 years ago, maybe. DSL was not here yet. We were still on dial-up, and I owned a dial-up company. And I'd already done a lot of technology stuff. I've been a technology geek since I can remember. So I started a dial-up internet company where people dialed me up to get onto the internet. And that was my first real jump into digital services and digital marketing. And I had to build a website for that. So the first website I built was for that company. And then I built a family website. On the family website is where I put all my bells and whistles, like the mouse that had the clock behind it that you drag around. But my first real big step into running a full-blown business online was a dial-up internet service.
So did you use a builder? Was that WordPress? Is that hand coded
It was
HTML?
hand coded HTML.
Hmm. I remember the days.
Yep.
I
And
was
then the next step was uh, front page, and then Dreamweaver, and then WordPress.
Oh my goodness. Front page,
Yep.
Dreamweaver, WordPress, Dreamweaver. That was, man, that's a blast from the past. And front
It is
page
a
too.
blast from the past. That's right.
Front page is a Microsoft product. Dreamweaver was by, oh my goodness,
It was
Alaire?
Adobe, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Then there was another one called Home Site by Alaire. They're gone.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There
Yep.
you, is there anything else you want to tell us before I start talking again?
Well, all I can say is everybody starts somewhere. And I remember when I built that first business website, I went to the Small Business Association to get help because I was a female. I was starting my first business. I wasn't real sure what I was doing. So I went to Small Business Association and they wanted me to revamp my entire website because at that time, the Korean and Japanese websites were really popular with bright colors and flashes and stuff like that. And they wanted me to make it more flashier, which my business was a dial-up service, so it didn't need to be flashy. So I did not listen to them and listen to my gut. It needed to be professional. It needed to be warm, inviting colors, not flashy. The company name was worldsouth.net. So, it had to be calm, trustworthy, people using you to dial up on the internet, you need to be trustworthy. So out of that experience, I can say that you need to listen to your gut and go with your design instincts because not everybody's going to have the exact right advice for you. So go with the things that people tell you that you believe and that you feel strongly about. But if your gut's telling you I need to go this direction, then go that direction.
There you go. I like that. Stick with your gut feelings. Let
Yep.
me,
Hey, guess
hey, Willie,
what?
what's up?
I did my first website about 24 years ago. When
Oh, did
I
That's awesome.
when I had my accident, I got into internet. I got my first computer and I was like ecstatic.
Hmm.
there you go.
It's pretty exciting.
All right, let me share my screen again and I'll keep talking while I'm working, but I wanted to teach this one thing. Well, not just this one thing, this next thing. So I remembered that I had a signature with a specific font and all that kind of stuff back on the homepage. So I'm going to save this from the homepage and reuse it. Uh, so we're going to call it Andy Sig. Oh my goodness. All right. It's going to be a template or universal. Now, once again, if I make this a universal template, that means anywhere I change it in another page, it's going to update everywhere. That's not what I want in this case. So I'm just going to save it as an element template and we're going to say save. And then we're going to switch back to our Andy taught me coming. Where'd I go? Oh, about. There we go. That's what I want to be. All right. And we're going to go insert that saved element right here. Okay. So we click on the plus and then we're going to go to saved assets. And then we're going to go to element templates. Is it there? Nope. Section templates? Nope. Where'd it go? It's called Andy Sig. Oh, nope. That's not it. Where in the world did it go? That's where it should be. Oh, it's because I haven't refreshed this page. I'm sorry. Let's refresh. I hope that's why. If not, I'll be eating crow. So, my first experience with creating anything for the World Wide Web, I'm in the about. All right. My first experience with creating anything for the World Wide Web was before the World Wide Web, before Al Gore invented the internet. Not really. It was before the World Wide Web, and it was actually using a Gopher server, which at the time, Gopher was just a text only with very limited pictures, maybe if you were lucky, server that would just share information. Maybe some, in fact, I worked at the university library, and that's where we started doing stuff. And it wasn't long after we built the Gopher server that we started building real internet servers using hand coded HTML before there was CSS. So everything was pretty blocky because you didn't have all the fancy ways to affect looks on a site. Um, you couldn't fly in, you couldn't appear in, fade in, any of that kind of stuff. So
Those were the div days.
those were the div days. Yeah. All right. So let's go add this real quick.
I lied. I actually did a pre-website way back when my kids were very little, like babies. Do you remember BBSs, bulletin board systems?
Sure.
Yeah, I had BBSs. I was an advocate for children with disabilities in the state of Arkansas. And I ran several different bulletin board systems that had groups of parents on there that were looking for help and guidance and advocates for services for their child that had a disability. So that was way before the dial-up service came online. But it's part of what got me into working online.
There you go. All right, y'all. So I made a mistake. I know it's hard to believe. This Andy Sig showed up as a huge thing, and that's why I didn't think I had it. But here it is. I clicked on plus. I went to saved assets and element templates. And then we've got the Andy Sig. I'm going to drag it right here. And then we probably have to change our color. So we want that to be, here we go. We want that to be the gold. Look at there. I didn't have to go find the font or anything like that. It's all good to go. So before we do anything else, let's go fix this spacing because that's affecting my whatever. It's bugging me. We're going to change the 0 on that one, and we're going to change this to 5 on the top of this one. So I know a lot of people watching this don't know what a BBS is. A BBS is where you could use your telephone before there was internet to dial up on somebody who was hosting a bulletin board system or a bulletin board service on their computer. And they had, a lot of times they had just one phone line. And talk about a passion project. They usually didn't get paid for a BBS. So they were paying for an extra phone line in their house back in the days where phone lines were expensive. Oh my goodness. So people would put a BBS in their house on a computer and probably have fights with their spouses about it and everything else. And sooner or later, some people grew and had 10 or 15 phone lines. I remember there was a local BBS to where I live where there was a guy that had 10 phone lines. And that was crazy before the internet. Nobody had heard of anything like that. Anyway, so a BBS was a system where basically you could post information. In some places there was a chat, but it wasn't a live chat. It's somebody would post a message or a question, and then somebody else would dial in and see it and then answer it. So it was that type of thing. We called it a chat back
asynchronous then. Chat. Yeah.
Asynchronous. Oh my gosh, she's using college words.
I know. It was amazing though, because imagine back at that time before the internet, it was a way that if you had something specific that the BBS was about, you could find out more about that topic. So they worked almost like internet pages where you have resources about a topic, but it was all text-based. And so for my part in it, I focused on children with disabilities and different resources for that. So if you had a child with a disability, you could connect to that bulletin board system and find all kinds of resources available to help you with that child with a disability, whether it was getting an advocate for school or getting medical services or getting equipment, mobility equipment, stuff like that. So all different types of things. It was really, that was the first kind of foray into getting into an internet. It wasn't really an internet, but it was a standalone phone number. But it was kind of the idea grew for the internet out of those BBSs.
There you go. All right, let me tell you what I've done so far is I finished the central column. I finished the center column. I adjusted the spacing here. Now I'm on this one. So we've got 3 2-column rows. And then on the left side of this entire column, we've got a line. So we'll build that in just a minute. So I'm building these 3-column rows, and you can watch as we keep talking. Shelley, so did you, I was typing at the same time or creating at the same time. You actually had a BBS first, or you are a part of one, or tell me.
Well, I had learned about BBSs, so I
Gotcha.
created my own, and I actually created several. So I had adult services, I had children's services, because they're two very different things when you're talking about advocating for a child versus an adult, and different, completely different services available. So I had two different bulletin board systems, and I worked for AmeriCorps Vista, which is like a stateside Peace Corps, and volunteered with them to be able to provide services with them for parents of children with disabilities and for adults with disabilities. And so that bulletin board system was built and integrated into AmeriCorps Vista, with a project that I worked on with them so that we could make that available to the state of Arkansas. Really
That's
cool
incredible.
stuff.
Yeah. So having done that, and now you've come a long way, and now you have you've created BizStackPro. Um, Tell us the story of the how and why of BizStackPro. Now, remember, everybody's going to see this in the whole wide world. We're going to get 4,000 views on this in just a couple of days, and people are going to learn your story about BizStackPro.
Awesome. Well, the reason that we formed BizStack Pro is because I had been a part of a program previous to BizStack Pro that I believed was a unicorn when it first started, meaning it was very unique and there's really nothing like it. And the community that was there and the support that was there and the just the overall feeling of family that was there, I absolutely loved it. So in the years that I was with that company, I learned a lot. I figured out what kind of leader I'd like to be in the process, and also saw a lot of things that people needed that maybe they weren't getting with that program, but I didn't have the power to provide those things. So when that platform changed and I left that platform, I said, you know what? I can do it myself and I can do it better. I can find and create those things that were missing and put them into a new program and create the next unicorn. So I believe BizStack Pro, even though we have so many things that are similar now to other programs out there, we're still a unicorn because we have the amazing collection of not just the tools, but the support, the training, the family atmosphere, the community, all the things that I wanted in the other program, but couldn't quite get in there. Now I've brought all of that over as a leader, and we want other leaders in this program. We're not afraid to bring up other leaders and bring them in. So we have really built, I think, another unicorn out of what we had in the other program. So that was kind of the impetus behind it is let's do it. Let's do it again, but do it better. And I think we've done that.
I like that. Except you're using big words again. Impetus, foray.
Sorry, I did graduate from college, so I have a few of those words in my back pocket.
Hey, I say hoorah. And
Thank
I
you.
wasn't in the military.
All
Yeah,
right. So
I love BizStack Pro and what we've built with it. And I love our community and I love the foundation of the vision, community, and success. And I also love the fact that we are building other leaders because that's the true sign of leadership is are you building other leaders? And we have people stepping up every day. So I'm very, very proud of that. And we will continue to do that as we help people see their vision. We bring them into the community and make them feel a part of it. And we help them realize some sort of success, whatever that success might be.
And I want to put in one little thing. I'm a jack of all trades,
Yes, you
and
are.
I've many things, and I love this community. I was with her when she was with the last product, and I will follow her anywhere because I'm just a Shelley fan. And guess what? I'm a Andy fan and and a Chris fan, Shelley fan, because we are all family. I just love it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Will. That was nice. Thank you. Love it, love it. We love our community very, very much. No doubt about
Okay,
it.
so I am still working on this. It's taking a minute, but I'm glad that we've got some talking going on. If you have a question for anybody in the panel or anyone that you've heard talk, I don't remember exactly how this is going to show up on the video. You may only see me and hear Shelley talk. I'll do my best to make sure that I include a screenshot of all of us. So if you have a question for anybody on the panel or in the group, you are welcome to drop it in the comments below the video here on YouTube, and I'll make sure that they get that question if you want to say anything to them. I can also, by the way, if you are interested in getting started in BizStackPro, you can talk to anybody on the panel. And once again, if you want to say, Shelley, tell me more about BizStackPro in the comments, then I'll make sure that she gets that question. Hold on. And otherwise, you can go to andydelgado.com/BizStackPro and learn more about it. And oh my gosh, y'all, she said it's another unicorn. I believe it is because of the community and the support that you get doing things in real time. I was hoping that we could get through this entire page, but it's taken a little bit longer because there's so many pieces. And for example, this is just going to be 3 2-column rows, but we've got to do formatting between each one because it looks like they're going to be too close to each other still. So I'm working on it. It's being a little bit, as Shelley would say, persnickety. There we go.
Yeah, that's a good word to use for sure. I will tell
So
you that before we had our VBS and before we had the dial-up service, I actually had a balloon shop. The balloon shop was one of the first businesses that I did just as an adult. I just decided, you know what, I think I'm going to do a balloon shop. So I contacted a balloon company where I used to go to college, and I said, hey, would you train me for what you do? I would love to do that in my area. And they actually invited me over to stay with them for a week, didn't charge me anything, and trained me on what they do in their balloon shop. And it was one of the best experiences I'd ever had. And so I went back home and started planning, and we had a balloon shop up within about 30 days because I like to do things quick in a hurry. And we were up and running with Balloon Palace was the name of it. And we did the latex balloons, we did the Mylar balloons, we had the Classy Wrap, which is a machine that sucked a balloon open that you could put gifts inside of and then close the balloon. And so we did a bunch of that. We did birthday party decoration and office party decorations and stuff like that. And we were extremely successful. And I gave that up once we moved to Mississippi. But what I learned in that experience was building a business, getting all the licenses and all that kind of stuff. But I also learned that the profit margin on a physical product is minimal, especially when you're talking about balloons, it's pennies. So by the time you pay for rent, electricity, supplies, helium tanks and all the things, the net to capture all the balloons, then all the balloons, etc., the money that you make is minimal. So when I moved to digital products and actually started to jump into making money on digital products, the difference was there was a lot more potential for income. And you didn't have to work your butt off physically. You still have to work mentally, but it's not as hard physically. We did parades and stuff like that with the balloon shop, and we spent hours and hours inside of our balloon shop. So it's physically demanding as well as, building a business demanding. But a digital product is not quite as physically demanding, and you can get to a market faster and make a larger profit margin. So once I stepped into digital marketing and how to build a business with digital marketing, I never wanted to go back to a physical product. That is one big thing that I learned.
I can 100% agree with you. In case people don't know, on YouTube, I own a computer business, and it is my daily job. And I'm happy with it. I do want to look forward to things when I'm not going out and working in other people's businesses where I can just build a business like this BizStackPro and get paid for that. It's a digital business that pays recurring income. Is definitely a good thing to do, and it's a great way to build towards a retirement program where all you need to do is make sure that you get people going, help them get trained up, make them happy, and then keep everyone else. Oh, I got raised hands. And keep everyone else in. If you get them a part of a community like BizStackPro, then the good news is you can just help them and encourage them in the daily trainings, the hot seat, or any other trainings that you have. Find answers for them and point them to them. A lot of our answers are video answers. That's good because they can rewind them and play as much as they need to grasp the concept, like I teach you to do here. Let me fix this one, and then I'm going to stop sharing, and we'll just continue this one later. So if you can see what I'm doing, I've got each of these rows that I've built, and what I'm going to do is I'm getting to the left edge, and I'm adding a border. So you can see I'm going to go to a solid border, and I'm going to pick my dark gray color here, and then I am going to uncheck this box, right? And then just put a 1 pixel border on the left edge. So what we've done is we have a 1 pixel border on the left edge. Now, you're going to say, Andy, why didn't you do it on the column level? Because I didn't want that border to go all the way from top to bottom. I wanted it to be just sitting here. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, not share. Sorry about that. We went to slideshow. There we go. So see this? This border is about equal with each of these rows. That's what I did that for. Otherwise, the border would have gone from here all the way down to here, which isn't what this showed me to do. So there we go. I am going to declare this section complete, with the exception of me needing to name these icons, which I'll do that offline. And we are going to stop right here. So we've only gotten the hero section and this first section done. So we need to call this Why I Teach. If I didn't, let's go label it Why I Teach. Now, something else that you should know before I stop this. Every chance that you get, I've already talked about why you would name a section, because you can look at it in the layers, right? We're at page, and then why, what are all these sections about? Normally it would just say section, and then you have to click and guess which one you're talking about. Another great thing about this is because remember, your search engines, they don't look at the picture. They look at the behind the scenes text. So if I have a section called Why I Teach, then it's going to help the search engines understand what on the page they're looking for if somebody's looking for a specific term. All right, I'm going to stop. We've saved both sections. I'm going to publish it. We're going to go preview it real quick, and then I'll stop sharing and we'll talk, because I had two hands up. So give me a second here. All right. So about Andy Taught Me How, we can see that we don't see a break in the color here. I think that looks pretty good. My picture is over to the right. It's not getting hit by anything else. That looks good. And then this next section, Why I Teach. I do believe I'm going to increase the font size on this. This is an H2. It's currently 24 pixels. I may take it up to 30, maybe even 36. But that section looks pretty sharp to me. All right. And then once again, notice this floating go to top menu, go to top button. It only occurs after a percentage of the page has been scrolled. And you click it and it takes you back to the top of the page. That's the contribution from Shelley Turner. It is currently visible. You can see the code behind that on the custom-CSS page. I added it to it. Let me show you that real quick. All right, so this is all the custom CSS that you can see in the entire site will be listed here. And then there's the CSS behind it. So the first tells you everything about each one that we did. And then this is the actual code that you can copy and paste into your own site. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, we see the code for the go to top button custom code. All right, this is in a custom code element at the top of the page, near the top of the page, that you don't see at the time. But as soon as you scroll past it, you're going to see the effects of it. All right, let's go back to home. So like I said, there's a pop-up that comes up and says, last Tuesday, we completed the training page. So today, after we're finished, when I stop recording, I'm going to go edit this and say, last Tuesday, we began the about page, began work on the about page. And then they can click on this and it will whir and click and take you to that page. This was the training page. And I'm not bragging, but I think it looks pretty good. All right, that's enough for me sharing my screen. Let's see what questions we had. I saw that I had 2 hands raised, and I don't see who it is now. So if you raised your hand when I was long talking, go ahead and tell us what your question is.
It wasn't a question more than an accolade. I just wanted to say that at 62, I retired and wanted to learn something different. I joined tried to do online marketing. I'm now 73, and I've learned a lot, but I just put it together because of these people here. Every one of these people here. I have built websites. I've done funnels. It is working, folks. This is what BizStackPro is all about. It's these people.
Well, there you go. So if you're a beginner at this whole game, whether you are a beginner at building something or you're a beginner at online marketing or whatever, you may be intermediate, you may be advanced. I would be willing to tell you that there are people that fit every class in BizStackPro. You may have somebody that knows everything, then that means that you need to be in BizStackPro to teach what you know. You may be somebody that's just getting started and don't have an online presence, right? Maybe you are an internet marketer and you were a direct salesperson or are a direct salesperson, and your company said, do this and build our brand, build the company. Well, some of us will tell you that's probably not the best answer. Some of us would tell you that you should build your own personal brand, and you're looking to do that. We can teach you on that too. All right, who else? Shelley, did you have a question or a statement or whatever? No? Shelley Jean? No? Is she stuck?
It looks like she's trying.
Or you're freezing.
There she is. There she is.
I think you have an in and out internet connection, because we lost you and we got you and now we got you. So talk fast.
I think we lost her again.
Oh, Shelley just chatted and said, I'm freezing up over here. So we'll get to Shelley the next time we do this, which will be next Tuesday at 11 Eastern. I'm sorry that you're freezing up, Shelley Jean. Yeah. So if you have any questions or comments, make sure that you leave them below, or you can send me an email to andy@andytaughtmehow.com. Also, we are taking polls. We are taking questions. We're taking suggestions for what else you would like to learn. If you haven't seen yet, go back to the main channel for Andy Taught Me How on YouTube, and you'll see the different playlists we have. And one of them is called Builder Notes. And I've only got 2 or 3 in there. And by the time you see this, I may have 4 or 5 in there. But it's different short topic videos that you may have a question about, where you don't have to watch this whole 1 hour of us talking and gabbing and teaching. You may want to know exactly, how do I create a UTM tracking code for my website or for a specific page? I've already built that, and we'll teach it to you in 15 to 30 minutes. Got several others on the way for that. So if you want to know more, then just send me a message and say, hey, I want to know about this. And I may not get to it in the next 2 days. I may not get to it in the next 2 weeks, but I will respond to your question and tell you that I can get to that within X number of days. So there we go. All right. Uh-oh, somebody else chatted. Or is that the first one? The same one? That was the same one.
I think Shelley's pretty solid with us now. If she still has something that she'd like to say.
Go ahead.
Let's hope so. Well, I just wanted to add too that this has been, we have talked about this, and now that we're on Andy Taught Me How, is Andy has been teaching a lot of really great things for me too. I've been able to create and put together a website bridge page. Bridge page has been the most valuable for me at this moment. Just really going along my sarcasm with my pinup girls and all of my branding. But also the one thing that I love the most about this is that we are never upsold. We don't have, our leaders don't come on here and say, hey, well, I'm going to teach you this much. And then the next thing you know, they want a $500 course. That's not how it works there. And they're very patient, very supportive. And I've never, ever, ever been in such a place where there's no judgment. Everybody's just very loving and kind, and you feel like you do have a place to belong. And I cannot emphasize that enough. Like, there is never a worry about anything in this community. And so, and for the value that we have, we are gifted so many unbelievable things that you would have to pay for in other communities that it would just blow your mind. So I just wanted to add that. And I just want to thank you much because I am gratefully receiving all that I receive in BizStackPro with all of these incredible people. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Shelley. That was really nice.
It's very true.
Don't make me get out my paper towel again. So we learn a lot. We have a lot of fun. I think hearing some of the phrases that we're all throwing, people may not know what they mean. For example, a bridge page or a lead generation system. So I will create a working as we go and come up with questions or terms that we don't know or you may not know as a beginner. I'll create a page on Andy Taught Me How. This is basically going to be a glossary. And as we come across a new page, I'll load it up with some examples right now. But I'll create a glossary. And as we come up with new terms that the new person may not know how to say or do or what it is or whatever, it'll be on that glossary page. So look forward to seeing andytaughtmehow.com/dictionary. I think everybody can spell dictionary. What do you think?
Awesome.
Dictionary,
I'll get
glossary?
you. We've got a glossary. I've got a glossary resource, so I'll get you that so you can. It'll help you build a little faster.
There you go. So I'll have that, and it will not be a part of the 5-page series. This is a working site. You're going to be able to see it as we go. AndyTaughtMeHow.com. It's a working site. So, like I said, you may see things that don't work, and just hold on, they will. And then you may see things like Andy didn't build that while we were on live. No, because I built it offline. For example, a glossary site. A glossary page. That's going to be just a bunch of tedious stuff that you don't need to worry about. I'll take care of it for you. And then there will be other pages that pop up that you say, wait a minute, that's not the same as what he taught about. For example, the legal page, which we'll do in about 2, maybe 3 weeks, where it's the policies and procedures and all the stuff, because you need to have on your website, you need to have some policies. You need to have a privacy policy, maybe a cookie policy. There are all kinds of things that you should have on your site to protect you in case somebody wants to sue you or has questions about a specific thing, right? I got a virus when I went to your site. Well, first off, no, you didn't. But just in case, here's what you did, and it's in my policy that you agreed to because you stayed on my site once you got to it, right? All right, so all of those will be there. But that page, the one that I put up on the first day when we build it, that won't stay. I can tell you now, I'm working on something bigger, badder, better. But I'm going to get you through having a policies and procedures page as we get started on this site as we go. There will be so many other things. This is a live site. You're going to see new changes to it just about every day as we go through it. And some will have been built live, and some will have been built as part of the Builder Notes story system, Builder Notes series. And then others will be just stuff when I decided on the whim to start recording and screen record as I go and build something new. And hopefully it's something that you can use, not just something that I just thought of out of the ether, right? There's you a good word, ether. Okay, I'm stopping. Listen, I hope that you learned something here. I hope that you found it valuable. If you have any questions, like I said, leave a comment or send me a message. If you see anybody on this cast of thousands that you can relate to and you would like to talk to them about BizStackPro, you can do that too. Leave it in the comments. Say, I want to talk to Steve Shannon about how an old person can do BizStackPro, and I'll make sure he gets the message. Or any of the others of us. All right. Be blessed. You guys stick around in case you want to ask anything. I'm just going to stop recording. Be blessed. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.